What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today is a bit of a special one because I had a message over on Patreon saying, Josh, can you remake this tactic? And I've accidentally made one of the best 4-2-3-1s I've ever seen. It scored over 5 goals a game and tested with Atalanta, Brentford, Celtic, and dominated everywhere. If you do enjoy the tactics, be sure to leave a like and subscribe and whack that bell on because we've got endless content coming your way. But let's go over and look at the results. First up, we're going to go with the default tactic. Once again, we've got 3 tactics in one video, so do stick around. First up, the results with the default tactic, and that is going to be with Atalanta in the Serie A, a team predicted, I think, to finish around about 7th place. We have come out and actually won the Serie A, only losing one game, being against AC Milan in a 1-0 defeat, I believe away from home as well, so a remarkable season. But put that to one side, we have won the Champions League over Real Madrid on penalties, which I am absolutely buzzing to bring to you. Runners up in the Super Cup and the Italian Cup, so only 2 games really off completing a quadruple winning season with Atalanta in Season 1 with 0 signings, so absolutely incredible. In terms of the league, you can see here the players that come in, they absolutely thrived in this system. It's a very attacking system and one which just completely took over the Serie A, to be honest. And as you can see from the stats, goal scoring wise, we were absolutely relentless. Most shots at 891, the fewest shots against. Possession wise, we are not going to be on there. This is not a possession based tactic, and I will make sure I showcase this just so you are aware before you do download it. The fewest conceded at 18 and the most clean sheets at 23. So if you're looking for a tactic that wins games, scores goals and defends well, which I'm pretty sure might be everyone, then this is what you want because it absolutely cooks. And this is not the best of the stats, by the way. I say that as we score 4 goals a game. Only 0.47 conceded, over 23 shots, a great pass completion, and a very good tackle win ratio, scoring a high number of goals compared to the rest. And the scary thing, this isn't even the best. The best set of results was with Celtic, funny enough. It is going to be the powerhouse of the video, a bit more of an attacking version of the tactic, but I do like to include a powerhouse because then you can decide, look, do I play as a powerhouse? Have I got a powerhouse pre-made? And this is what you can expect. So Viaplay Cup winners, Scottish Cup winners, the Champions League, a little bit iffy to be honest, but the league was absolutely sublime. Once again, an invincible season. 37 wins, 1 draw coming in here against Rangers, one of the best teams in the league. And it is the Scottish League, so these stats are quite easy to get, to be honest. I'm not going to hide that fact, but it does show the absolute cap of this tactic, like the absolute complete rise of the tactic. The max you can get to is going to be something like this. Over 200 goals in the season, over 1,000 shots, a 61% possession stat, which again does show how easy it is to have the ball in the Scottish League. The most dribbles, the fewest conceded, and the most clean sheets, alongside of the best pass completion. But strap in and brace yourselves. Are you sat down? Because the Data Hub, 5.29 goals per game, only 0.5 conceded, over 26 shots a match, and 87% pass completion, and a very good tackle win ratio. This tactic, this might be one for the ages because that is a remarkable set of stats. But is it as remarkable as a title-winning Brentford side and a team that actually won the Carabao Cup 5-2 over Chelsea in the final? This is going to be your underdog version of this tactic, and I think you might want to get this one because it absolutely cooks. Premier League winners, Carabao Cup winners, finalists in the FA Cup, and as you can see, it's down to one man, Ivan Toney, who I know has gone, but there's no Saudi League in this game, so he is going to remain here. And do you know what? I will say, in terms of, you know, if you want to be petty, I could have done better. I could have went invincible, I know. But for me, this is a perfect season. I mean, goal scoring wise was the main reason we actually won, because when it comes to the most clean sheets, we didn't get that. Conceded was very close. Possession, we're not even in the rankings. But the goal scoring ability and sheer presence of the shots we're having is the reason we were so good in the Premier League. And the Data Hub, again, 3.32 goals a game with Brentford in the Premier League is absolutely phenomenal. 0.66 conceded, over 21 shots a game, and I'm not being funny, boys and girls, but you have got 3 incredible sets of results here. You've got a title-winning Brentford team, you've got Atalanta winning the Champions League, and you've got Celtic scoring over 5 goals a game. This tactic, genuinely, I'm so glad I got that Patreon message to make it, because I've created an absolute masterpiece. Now, I'm going to watch a game here against Manchester United in the Premier League, a 4-0 win. We got off to a flyer of a start here inside of 2 minutes. Damsgaard enjoyed a fantastic season. Tony stuffs a penalty down the middle past Onana. He never messes up penalties, as Pinnock is going to get it in midfield into Emery, into Damsgaard, who's going to drive at the back line and go alone near post Onana. What's going on there? With one last goal coming here towards the end of the game, Shade is going to run at the back line into Carvalho into Tony. It's a comfortable 4-0 win. Let's go over and make this tactic right now. I do want to quickly say, if you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It does help massively, big time, more than you can imagine. It means the absolute world. But to make this tactic, you simply want to load in a tiki-taka, and it is going to be based, of course, off the 4-2-3-1. But do not get bored yet, because this tactic is not going to feature your usual defensive line. But now let's go over and actually tweak some of the player roles. Again, the mentality is on positive, just to clarify that. And the first player role change is going to be this goalkeeper. He is simply going to be set to support, opposed to a super keeper on attack. And this is where things do start to get a little bit interesting, because you can see where the goals come from, the assists come from already from the back line. So we are going to have two wing backs, both set to attack, and they are going to have custom instructions, so I'm going to go over and apply them live on video so you can copy them back home. They are going to consist of cross more often, we're going to have them set to run wide, we're going to have them set to sit narrow, and also have them set to tackle harder as well. And that's going to be the same for the right hand side, also the same for the left hand side. So once again, we're going to have them set to cross more often, we're going to have them set to run wide, sit narrow, and also tackle harder. So again, these wing backs out of possession are going to sit quite narrow. When they've got the ball, they're going to run wide and really be creative talismans and contribute really heavily when it comes to the assists. As both of the ball players come in, they are going to have one key instruction. Again, very meta based this. We are going to go with tackle harder on the right and also the left hand side, and that is going to complete your back line, a very attacking and dominant backline that is not going to be afraid to really get stuck in. And the wing backs, they're going to contribute big time when it comes to the assists. Now, when it comes to the midfield, to kick things off on the right-hand side, we are going to go with a ball-winning midfield player who is simply going to be set to support. And speaking of support, if you do want to show any support to this channel and also get access to all of these wonderful perks down here, including access to all 3 of the tactics today in one simple download, you get them on console, you get them on mobile, you get rebuild files, rebuild tactic files, one-on-one tactical help, I'll tweak your tactics for you. And this month, we've got a £500 giveaway. You can come over and get involved, and trust me, it's one of the best places to be in terms of out of YouTube, because there's a massive community, tons of content. You can click the link below or see it on the screen there, patreon.com/JoshDaly. But let's go over and partner the ball winning midfield player with a nice simple DM who is going to be set to support. So let's go over and add his instructions on, because he's going to have one key one, and that is going to be set to tackle harder. Now, the great thing about this pairing in midfield is they are quite defensively minded. Obviously, the DM and the ball winning midfield player are going to protect this back line, which is quite vital because the wing backs are going to be pushing up. So the one bit of advice I've got for you right off the bat is make sure you have got good attacking wing backs to play this system. Going up the field, of course, we are going to start off with the AM in the middle, who is going to be set to attack, and we are going to have some instructions on him. It's going to consist of take more risks, going to have him set to dribble more, move into the channels, and also have him set to tackle harder as well. So this player is literally going to be nowhere near help and defend the game. So that is why we've gone with 2 defensive-minded players here. He's going to be in the middle, attacking, taking risks with his passing, roaming, dribbling about, and more importantly, getting further forwards and maybe even scoring some goals. The striker as well is going to be set to the advanced forward with 2 instructions consisting of shooting more often and also tackle harder, which leaves the wingers, which aren't going to be wingers. They are going to be 2 inside forwards, both set to attack, both set to support, sorry, should I say. Bit of a brainwave there, I was looking at this player here. The inside forward is going to consist of roam from the position, sit narrow, and also tackle harder. And that's going to be exactly the same for the right-hand side, opposed to the other side as well. So it's a nice mirrored left and right side. Same with the wing-backs as well, exactly the same as are the wingers. So of course, they sit narrow, the wing-backs overlap, and it creates this beautiful system that scores tons and tons of goals. They're going to be your player roles, but now over to the really important side of things, the team instructions. So again, based off the positive mentality, we are going to go sticking 2 fairly wide when it comes to the attack and width. Approach play, we're going to go pass into the space, and this time we're going to overlap left and overlap right, because it is absolutely vital in a system like this, while focusing down the right and the left hand side as well. The final third, we're going to leave on mixed crosses, and dribbling, we are going to opt for run at defence, which again is why with some of the teams we didn't have an immaculate possession stat, because we are actually quite a counter-attacking team. But the passing is going to go down to shorter, with the tempo being all the way maxed out, because you know that's how the meta works. You absolutely cook with a fast-paced style. In transition, we're going to take short goal kicks to anyone on the pitch while distributing quickly. We are going to counter, but when possession has been lost, unlike most of the meta tactics, we are actually going to regroup as a team, meaning the front 3 are going to drop back, we're going to regroup, and then counter when we have the ball. And lastly, out of possession, the standard line and the mid block. Probably the bit you were not expecting to see in a meta 4-2-3-1. This worked really well at the start of the year. I've tested it again and it works absolutely phenomenal. Thanks to the guy again on Patreon, by the way, because you inspire me to make this. So if anyone else wants a request, you can DM me over on there. And this is an absolute incredible tactic, so hopefully you enjoy if you are watching. We're going to get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and max out that trigger press. And that is going to give you the default version that we used with Atalanta. I believe, to refresh the memory, it was Atalanta. Now to the tactic that scored all them goals with Celtic. And this is going to be the attacking version, so the goalkeeper does remain the same, the ball players also remain the same, as do both of the wing-backs, because already they are very, very attacker-minded. The DM on the left is now going to be on get further forwards, alongside of tackle harder, as the ball, when the midfield player, does remain the same, because we can't have him both going up, because the DM, of course, is doing that as well. The inside forward on the right and on the left are both now going to be on shoot more often, roam, sit narrow, and of course tackle harder, with the AM being exactly the same as is the advanced forward. In terms of the team instructions, we have changed it a fair bit, so let's get into that right now. But of course, for the player roles, the main addition really is the DM getting forwards, and both of the inside forwards actually having shots at goal. So again, it is going to be on a tiki-taka, and we are still going to be set to positive. I didn't really need the justification to change it to attacking, because it is quite attacking changes that we're doing already. So if you want to go to attacking, you can, but in my opinion, it might be a little bit overkill. This time, we're going to run at defence and also be more expressive. So again, a big attacking change. We are still going to have mixed crosses selected. We're still going to pass into the space, and this stuff remains exactly the same because it works so well in the default tactic. As for the passing, down to shorter, the tempo all the way up to higher, of course. Again, there's no reason to change the tempo if you're trying to score more goals. If anything, you want even higher tempo, which is impossible, but in a dream world, you would do. In transition, we're still going to regroup because that is what this tactic is sort of designed around. We're going to counter, distribute quickly, and take long goal kicks. So again, a bit of a change now, a little bit more direct if you so will. We have got a lot of players up the pitch, so get the ball up there as quick as we can. And lastly, and the real big change, we are still going to have the mid-block because that is what the request was, but we are now going to go with a higher defensive line, which pushes the team a lot more together and actually builds really attractive, good link-up play. We're going to max out the trigger press and prevent short goalkeeper distribution, with get stuck in being selected, and that is going to give you the better 4-2-3-1 attacking version, which, like I said, scored all them goals with Celtic. Now to the tactic that won Brentford, the Premier League. The idea behind this tactic was to have the same principles, but maybe not be as direct and approach this game with a little bit more sort of calmness, a shorter passing directness, and that's exactly what we have done, as the goalkeeper does remain the same, the ball playing defenders also the same, the wing backs not the same. Both of them now on defend, both simply on tackle harder, the DM on the left simply on tackle harder on support, and the ball winning midfield player again simply on support. So a big change in the back line, no players obviously going forwards when it comes to the DMs, the inside forward on the right and on the left, very simple, sit narrow and tackle harder on support. The AM drops to support, moving into the channels and tackling harder, and the advanced forward does remain unchanged because I still need a bagsman in this team. But you can tell already from the player roles how it's changed, a lot less attacker minded, more sort of calm, possession minded sort of football. But as you're going to see shortly in the team instructions, that's the real change. So again, based off the tiki-taka, but this time we are down to balanced. So we've gone from positive all the way down to balanced. It's going to be a standard width. We are not going to be passing into the space. Mixed crosses is going to remain the same, but this is where it starts to change. So we're not going to focus down anything. We're not going to be overlapping. We are simply going to play out from the back with a passing directness all the way down to much shorter. We're going to dribble less and also be more disciplined. And what I will say right now is if you are using this mid-game, if you're playing as a powerhouse and you're trying to run the clock down, you would introduce time wasting. But if you are playing an entire season with this, you would of course not time waste from minute one. So it's sort of down to the situation you're going to be in. In transition, we sort of flip the script a little bit because we are going to start counter-pressing and holding the shape. So literally the opposite of what we were doing. We're going to slow the pace down and this time go very cautious and roll the ball out to anyone across that back line. Out of possession, we are going to deploy the standard line with the mid-block, and we are simply going to leave it like this. I've not forgot anything, we're simply going to leave it like this, nice and balanced and nice and sensible. And that's not going to give you one tactic, not two, but three tactics of the best. 4231 or the better 4231. And once again, I keep thanking you, but the guy who messaged me, you inspire me to do this whole video. You're an absolute legend. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and hopefully you've had fun with the tactic as well. If you have enjoyed back home, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you haven't already, you can come over and check out my rebuild channel, because the rest of this year we're pumping out content on there as well. But next year we're going to be doing every single team, hopefully, I can ever imagine. So be sure to go and check it out in the description and on the screen, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.